with just a couple hours left to go of the match now, and I've just repositioned the left rod down in the left margin, which did do me a bite in the middle of the night last night. Didn't do anything all day, but it eventually did go off. So if fish are mooching around the margin, there's nobody fishing down that side. We've got 3 anglers opposite us now, obviously Simon to my right, and one guy's gone right down the end. So there's a lot of people on actually. The only bit not being fished is to my left, so it seems stupid not to put a rod back down there. The middle rod, or the right-hander, is still to the island, and I'm sure that will go off at any point, because it seems to be every now and then a fish goes around the island and something happens. Unfortunately, the last couple of hours of our session is alongside a tree surgeon, so you'll have to put up with the chainsaw, I'm afraid, but hopefully you can still hear me fine. Now, as you know, this series is brought to you by Prologic, and in each of these sessions we have a spotlight product to go through, and this session is these alarms, the C Series Pros. Now, we have done the C Series before, but these are the updated and improved versions on them, so hence the name Pro. The first most noticeable difference, because the shape and sort of style of them is very much the same as the previous ones, but the actual finish, the texture of them, has got a much nicer rubberized finish rather than just the sort of gloss black that the previous one, or not maybe the gloss black, but a bit more shiny black. There's a bit more matte and a much more lovely tactile feeling to them. So the finish, it feels a lot nicer, still fully weatherproof and everything like that, and a few differences when it comes to the actual operation of them. Now, turn on and off with the V button, and that also runs you through the volume settings. So at the moment it's on fairly loud, but as you go through, then onto mute. So if you want, you can have them fully muted and synced up with the receiver, so it's just through the receiver onto the Bivvy light. I'll get onto it in a second. You can have it that way. If I press it once more, it's going to be on full volume, which is pretty loud, as you can hear. So I'm going to sort of knock it down a couple of settings so it's not too loud if it does go off. Below that, we then have the tone. So a few settings to go through there, similar to what we saw on the previous ones. And we also have sensitivity settings. So as you can see, there's a lot more movement there before I get an indication. So that's a 6 or 7. And then we're back on the most sensitive, which as you can see is a lot more going on. The other thing you may have noticed is when I drop back, there's a little difference in tone. So you've got a lower tone, and the LED on the right flashes and then goes solid. And then when you go forward, the left-hand side flashes and then goes solid when it stops. So you've got different tones, whether it's forward take or drop back, which makes it a lot easier to let you know what's going on. If you can't quite see your rods or you've got your receiver on, you'll be matching up with that as well. Different colors as well, which also syncs up to your receiver. And the last button on these alarms is on the left-hand side, which is your night light. Press that, and a little night light in the middle will illuminate. There is also a power out jack, so you can put certain illuminated hangers into these. I haven't got any with me today. That's quite nice. You can have a power out to have illuminated hangers, which will light up when you have a bite. And then we've got the receiver, which you press and hold. You get a single beep, and the LEDs will go from left to right. And these were already synced up when I had got them out of the box. So as you can see, if I beep one of the alarms, straight away across. And I've also got this set to vibrate. There's a V button on here which says a volume, but press and hold, if you might be able to hear if I put it by the mic. That's vibrate off, and press again, vibrate on. But that also does the volume, as you can hear, getting quieter. You can have a mute function, so if you wanted, you can have it so these alarms beep and your receiver vibrates. But I'm going to put that back on and turn it down a little bit. But it's not just the receiver that syncs up to the alarms, the Bivvy light does as well. So of course this can be used as a standard Bivvy light, but you can also sync it up to the alarm. So if I turn it on, I've already synced these up, but again, it's really, really simple to sync them up. You press and hold the on and the brightness button, and then that opens up the channels. But as you can see, that is now on, but if I beep the alarm, it's flashed up green. If I beep this one, it flashes up red. And again, if I did this one, it would come up with the color of that one as well. On the back is a magnetic plate. You put that on the top of your Bivvy, and then it sticks to it like that. And there's also a little hook, which I've now masked with the plate. So if you want to put it inside your brolly setup like I've got today, you can latch that onto one of the poles under the umbrella. I can't line this back up now, but believe me, there is a fiddly little hook that doesn't want to come out right now that you can latch onto the inside of your Bivvy, no problems. So it's quite nice, you can sync all of these up. And the best thing about it all is, let's turn it back off, it comes in different sets. You can get a 2+1 set, a 3+1 set, a 4+1. The 3+1 I've got with me today, it comes in a box like this. It's got the manuals and things in there, so it's not much, not a very big manual, because it's not difficult to set up. All the functions are pretty self-explanatory, but it comes in a nice carry case like so. So it's well packaged on its way here, and also if you want to pack it away, you can do. So as you can see, receiver, 3 alarms, the Bivvy light, and then the charging cable for the Bivvy light. All of that comes in at around £120. So they're really, really good value for money. I've been using these on this session and they've gone off plenty of times, so I can tell it's doing everything it needs to and let me know I've got a bite. Also let me know when I'm getting that drop back, which is something the previous C series didn't have. They're still great alarms. I've still got the old set from the last series in my shed. But if you want to just take that step up to the next level of alarms for I think around an extra £20, £25, then it's definitely worth looking at the C series Pro alarms. So that's everything you need to know about them. Do have a look on the website if you want more information, or if you don't need the drop back differentiation tone, maybe still look at the C series alarms, the non-pro versions, because they may be more for you if you want to save 20 quid. But I think for that little step up in cost, you're getting a little bit extra, which you will notice the difference as well. So that's everything you need to know there. Hopefully they'll go off again in the last couple of hours of the session. I think Simon's really hoping his goes off as well, because he's done everything he can to try and get a bite this morning. And I kind of want him to as well, because I think it'd be nice to end off the session with a few more fish both ways. Sod's law, the chainsaw stops as I finish. I'm not doing it again.